Hey everybody, it's Dalton. I was doing some cranking of a square bill and then a rock crawler, and I noticed on my sonar that there's a bunch of them down underneath me, about 15 to 17 feet. And here we go with the old-fashioned hula grub. It was the first cast. I threw it out there, let it drop, let it set for a few seconds, and bam, there he was. So here's another one of those really fun baits, and I'll sit down and go over the setup here in a little bit, but this is a Zoom Brush Hog Junior. It's about a 4-inch bait, great for Texas rigging as well as shaky heading, or a shaky head. I don't know if shaking heading is the right way to say it, but I go ahead and Texas rig this thing on a little 1/8 ounce weight. I tell you, you bring this thing across the rocks or any type of cover, or just right on a flat bottom, and as you're moving it, that little tail's just quivering. It winds up being a really good bait for trying to get these fish that I know are shallow and you know, spawning and doing their thing. Kind of catching these fish on, well, 3 different things already this morning. A hula grub, a brush hog, and now a wacky rig. And boy, I was really working this bait slow, and all of a sudden he just took off with it. I got the right size hook this time. This guy's been caught before. Look at his lip there. This is a female. This is a spawner right there. So I'm just throwing a little different worm today. I'm throwing the Bass Pro Shop Sticko in a color that I like, which is called sprayed grass. And no weight, just letting it slowly sink down to where they are, and that's what I'm doing. I have to re-rig here, but yeah, just really digging these fish out of the rocks or out of the outside edges. So like if you have a rocky point, even if it doesn't go a long ways out, it doesn't matter. Hit the sides of it. Throw something like this, let it sink down real slow, and just watch that line, and well, they'll hit it. Had one break me off a minute ago. I had to retie. He got me down on those rocks and just cut that line. And this one's a pretty good one here. So, oh, come on over here. Stop. Yep. Okay. Little chunky one here on that brush hog. I'm getting bit on it doggone near every cast. And like I say, that one, he just up and broke off. I'm gonna weigh this one just out of curiosity. I just want to see what I got here. Feels kind of heavy. There's a 114, a little shy of 2 pounds, but you could tell they're pretty healthy out there. This one might go 2 pounds. He sure fought hard. Hope you guys are enjoying the video today. You come out here and catch a bunch of fish. They're biting good. That's another one, 114. Thought for sure he'd hit two. That's all right. You know what? This one here looks like it spawned really flat belly. All right, everybody, I found me a little shaded area, so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna share with you, you know, what I've used so far today. There's been 3 specific baits that have worked very well for me. I got a ton of bites. I'm not done fishing, but while I got this shade, I thought I would spot lock right here and just go ahead and go over some of these baits. First bait that I started catching them with is a Yamamoto hula grub. This is just straight green pumpkin, and the 12-pound test line on a bait caster here. And this right here is a 1/4 ounce owner ball head jig. That's all it is. And I used a 1/4 ounce with 12-pound test. It'll make it fall just a little bit slower. And I would keep this away from the rocks because of the exposed hook, but I would throw it outside of them, right outside of them, and just let it slowly drop. And typically they would hit it, you know, when it hit the bottom. Now the other thing I used that worked out really good is these are called Stickos. They're Bass Pro Shop brand, and the particular color that I'm using here is sprayed grass. I like it because it's got some green pumpkin, but it's got some other colors as well. And what I do when I'm hooking this thing up is Tackle Warehouse sells these little oh, I can't remember what these are made out of. Silicone. I think they're little silicone little tubes. I use these a lot for Wacky rig because I get a lot of, you know, use out of one particular worm. Now the hook that I used today is a Gamakatsu Aaron Martin's drop shot hook. It's a 2-aught. It's a 2-aught hook. And the way I do this, real simple, is I just kind of skin hook it like this, and I just let it slowly drop. Got a lot of bites with this today. The one I really had a ton of fun with, and I'm sure you guys have fished with them before, but that's the, well, it's actually called a baby brush hog. I call it a junior, but the bag says a baby brush hog. These are about 4 inches long. This one here is green pumpkin blue. My setup for this, I'm just using a spinning rod, but I've got 10-pound test. Okay, on the Wacky rig I've got 8-pound test, but on this right here I've got 10-pound test. And I'm using a Gamakatsu 3-aught extra wide gap hook. I tried to use an offset hook today. It just wouldn't work. I went back to an extra wide gap hook, and I was catching them that way. This is green pumpkin blue flake, and I've got an 1/8 ounce tungsten weight. Again, 10-pound test line, 10-pound test braid. The leader line is about 8 to 10 feet in length. And I'm using 10-pound test because I really want to be able to drive that hook into that fish because it's a Texas rig. So fishing today was, you know, again, outstanding. Right now, most of my fish I'm catching around rocks, but I'm going to go kind of look around and see where some of the areas are, because I catch them in other areas as well. But the rocky stuff has been really the key for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate you all. My transducer, I broke my transducer last week. Saturday, my son-in-law came over and helped me put the new one on, so my back transducer's back to normal. And just, man, I'm just looking forward to some more great fishing. It's so hard to leave this lake right now because how often do we get this lake at over 90% as long as they're holding it there? And there's so much lake here to fish. There's so many areas I haven't even touched that it's just hard to leave because the fishing's just so good. Well, thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you next time.